Okay, so it's the 6th of October, 2:20, I think. Even low, I often get the kind of idea that there is no kind of time, or at least that time is part of the way that we as humans are kind of trapped, particularly even by your emotions, because as humans, and especially some humans more than others, live in the past, as I've said before, and I know this because I have known most people like this, and I've even done it myself, to where you just can't let go of the anger of the past, whether it be dealings with other people or anything. It doesn't matter. But either way, the cat's sneaking out the door, and the whole purpose of me actually making this video, even though I really haven't got the time because I've got a few pressures coming up in the day, shall we say. But I just wanted to show something because I may not be able to, because Putty, big boy, come here into the kitchen. Oh, he's flashing it. Oh, I don't know if that come out. I'll have to have a look at it, but I think that maybe, I wasn't expecting that, because what I was going to show was the part in his chest, which I mentioned in a previous video, because I got confused by this. And I put the extra light on in the kitchen, so if I look a bit too bright, that's so that you can see a bit clearer, because normally I've just got the one light on, but it's still clear enough. Oh, the cat's trying to get away, so he doesn't want to show you. Look at that. Come here, Put. Come on, you've been good. Oh. Well, good's not a good word to use, is it, in this reality? And also maybe not a good word to use when you're dealing. I just don't like the way I'm talking when I said dealing. I don't when you're dealing with possessed animals. No, I'm not dealing with possessed animals, because I do choose to interact with this big boy. But then again, you must remember that he has deluded me for a couple of years, because I didn't know that he was possessed until relatively recently. Like I've known him for, the big boy cat has been in my reality for, maybe 13, 14 years. And it's only been over the last year or so, maybe a bit more, that I have been consciously, use the word conscious, in other words, totally aware that he is possessed, to where I'm, have no doubt, and to where I acknowledge it completely. Whereas before that, I really wasn't, because although I noticed changes in the cat, at a physical level only, I might add, at a personality level, not a great deal. Or at least, in where is the cat? Oh, I'm getting quite hot here now. It's actually quite cool outside. See, this is the trick of the Matrix too, because not only do they trick you with time to where you live in the past mentally, and also you don't realise that perhaps time is really meant to be kind of like, it's all happening now. I've said this, this is just a vibe that I kind of get, that it's all really happening now. Nothing really matters except the moment, in a funny kind of way, because the past matters, or what you've done yesterday probably matters, but the moment still is predominant because of the human vibration. Otherwise it wouldn't be. And I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know why I said that. Putty, come up here. Putty, I'm sorry about the tissues on the floor, but they are just tissues, and I will put them in the bin. Putty, come on. Up here. Yeah, I know you've already been up there and had a drink of milk, but come on. Oh, I think... Come on, Putty. Come on, show us. I'm going to go down here to show. I can't see. Don't put your head down. Come on now, you put your head up because I know you're trying. The cat is trying to make a fool of me because, it doesn't want you to see 100% proof. When I say 100% proof, I mean obviously it's not 100% proof. Anything I say or present is not 100%, no. But it's still evidence of little changes. Now, you might dismiss them, and I'm sure many people would. I know I would. If I didn't know this for a fact for myself, I would dismiss most of what I'm saying if I was listening to myself on a video of someone else. I would say, like even 3 years ago, even though the Matrix had opened up 3 years ago, no, I wouldn't have dismissed it 3 years ago, but say 5 years ago, just before the Matrix opened up and came down and exposed itself to me personally, I would have dismissed everything that I am saying if someone else was saying it. I wouldn't have even considered it. And even if you had shown me physical proof, I would have said, well, that's still not enough, because I would have, and rightfully so, I would have dismissed some of it and said, oh, well, look, like I'm going on and I'm losing time here. I just mentioned that there is no time, and that time, and there I'm saying I'm losing time. See how time gets you in this reality, because human beings have to go by the Matrix clock, you see. So if I know that something is going to happen at a certain time, I have to be prepared for it, whether I like it or not, even though I have never been that type of person, which is probably why the Matrix doesn't like me, because I have never went by a clock much. Even my sleeping patterns, like I can be up in the day sometimes and sometimes of a night, it's never the same for me. Sometimes that's an inconvenience, but I don't know why I'm doing this, but I'm just saying that the Matrix doesn't like inconsistent human beings. That's all I'm pointing that out for. And maybe that's one of the reasons the Matrix, can't tolerate some humans at this time, because that disrupts the Matrix, you see. I would think. But anyway, Putty, come here. Putty, you should be happy. Look, the floor's all messy. We've got tissues here, but I will put them in the bin. Garbage night tonight. Come on, Putty. But I have to have tissues and things around because the dog pees everywhere. The good thing about the cat is that I wouldn't even know if he pees at all, because basically that's why I do give him some credit. He basically goes outside and I never even see him do things. So it is a different ball game with the cat, which is why I say that he's the best of a bad bunch. In this reality, if you want to realise that possession is what makes up most of the population and even the animal kingdom. Putty, come on. Come here. Come on. Don't make a fool of me, because it doesn't really matter. There's only a few people that listen. Most of them know anyway. And those that don't, they're going to find out, because, like I say, I know that myself, that the minute the Matrix does show itself even a bit, you will then know that the reality isn't what you think. Whereas if you think reality is actually 100% real, or that everything is as you thought it was, you dismiss most things if they don't fit that reality or your idea of what you believe is the reality. It's very hard to change the habits of a lifetime. That's why I've still got OCD. See, showing the glove there. I noticed that there was no gloves in the shop now too, at the moment. When I went there the other night to buy some gloves, there wasn't a single box. Now, if I was back in the real world, that would have really annoyed me, because it would have been quite prominent. It would have sent me into panic mode. It actually doesn't now, strangely enough, but because I know the real Matrix, and that is just nothing in comparison to what you are experiencing in the reality. But, but it's still, don't know what I'm talking about here, sorry. Putty, come here, please. Come on. I think he knows that if he plays for time that I'm going to be in trouble, don't you? Come on. Now, come into the light. I can't show them if you're not in the light. Putty, come here. Unfortunately, I haven't got any chicken to lure him in because everything's frozen and I've got to go and get some. Otherwise, I could get him in, no problem whatsoever, because, a piece of chicken, this cat will do anything, The dog used to be like that when he was young with a ball. If you threw a ball into a flame of fire, he'd jump in after the ball at his owner's request or demand or command is the word I'm looking for. Loyal to the owner too, to a fault, one could almost say. Loyalty is a good thing if you have a true friend or a true relative or a true, But in this reality, you're dependent on psychopathic, narcissistic personalities largely, everywhere. As some of you realise. You're actually dependent on them because they are all you will have for anything. And they're all around you anyway. And I'm just starting to sweat right through here for some reason. And it's actually quite cool outside. Yeah, if I went outside to make a video now, like to get the planes, it's very pleasant, whereas it's really hot inside this kitchen here. But then again, other people have noticed that there is a humidity problem inside my particular place. Or as the fella pointed out that came up, the random neighbour. Well, it's not random because neighbours are permanent, especially if they've been here for a reasonable time, as some of them have round here. I'm not going to mention that at all, actually. I'm going to go off the neighbours. I realise that some people don't like me doing the more candid videos when I go outside. That was just to try and show a physical matrix. But if people come along, I will try to bring them and show some points about the matrix if I can, or at least their reaction to what's going on, because some of the matrix, things like the noise situation that has been going on around Leichhardt, or Henry Street anyway, and Leichhardt in general, but certainly Henry Street, because, I would say around anywhere I've went, there has been a noise situation since the matrix opened up, and it was shown to me, but it has got really very negative and very diabolically bad for a human being at particular periods. This probably depends on various reasons as far as the matrix goes. I'm getting quite hot here, so I better slow down. And yet if I go outside, it's actually very refreshing because it's a cool breeze and it's early morning. But Putty will not oblige. He's wasting my film. Come on, Putty, come on. Come on, Putty. Come on, Putty, come on, please, come on. Oh, he's given me that awful look. Did you see the way he squinted his eyes as if to say, no, I'm not? What, you think you'll get into trouble, do you, if you show too much of the matrix or too much of the possession, or too much that there's some funny things going on at a real physical level? Because let's face it, I myself don't see a real lot of real physical evidence of the matrix in a bizarre way. All I see is natural, normal things with real normal people, or apparently normal people. Of course, they're normal people except that they're possessed, that's all. Most of them. I think that. I'm not saying that every person is that. But I'm saying that I think, and I could be wrong about this, I think that because it is a kind of spiritual domain, this is pure speculation, and because it is the end of the game, or the end of the time, or the end of whatever. Won't be too soon for me, I don't think, and that's terrible to say that. Because actually, originally when I first started to make these videos, my whole thing was to slow things down and to keep going and to just try to change the Earth or the Matrix, make it more livable somehow. Of course, I can't do that, but I'm saying that was what I thought. I thought that if, all the normal people would be aware that they're being part of a game that's negative for them and for the Earth or the Matrix, that then, they would reject it and not cooperate with it, because most people are playing for it. I don't know what I'm saying here. I just want to show the part in the cat's chest. That's the only reason I turned the thing on. Now I'm making my usual speeches about the Matrix, and I don't mind doing that if I'm making a proper video, but I just want to make a 2-second one before it, because the only reason I'm doing that is because it changes, you see. So if I don't film it or take a photo, when I see something with the cat, I can't then substantiate it or prove it if I ramble on about it in another video, or if I bring the cat in and do his usual talking, because I'm just trying to show slight differences, because I'm noticing it. They're very minor, and like I say, in the past would dismiss it, and you probably will too. But I think they are relevant, only in the sense that over the last year and a half, I've lost track of the time. But when I did become aware of the possession of the cat, and that the cat was not the original cat, fully 100% sure, and even though, yes, you still play, because there are days when I used to just think that would pretend to myself that it was just the real cat, even though, because it just makes you feel better to do that temporarily. You see a cat coming and you just automatically push away what you know. And that of course is that's what most people do all the time, you see. That's the thing. But if they actually saw changes and actually knew there had been, I'm just trying to show that there are funny things going on. Like if you can show that the cat is different, even if you don't want to go for possession, you'd have to say, well, this is not the same cat, so where is the other cat, and how and why are they doing this? You'd still have to accept that there was shenanigans, is that the right word? Funny business going on in this reality at a local level, and probably at a bigger level, just whether it be with people around, people, when I say people, because people are part of everything. People are, people run your shops, people run your vets, people run your, everything. And I think that is how this reality is now turning sour. That's what I used that word a few years back when someone said, by and large, this person said to me, because I went into this bookshop and I asked him what the meaning of a word anarchy was, because it's called the Anarchy Bookshop. So I said, what is anarchy? And they explained it. And I remember at some point they said, by and large, I think, and we that believe in anarchy think that that human beings generally want the best in their nature, that by nature they generally want the best and tend to be pretty okay. And I remember after he said it, I said, I think you might find, because I said, this is what I think, that a lot of human beings now have gone sour, that they don't think that way at all. And he didn't agree with me, but we didn't argue, and I just left the bookshop anyway. And it was an interesting conversation, because everything that he said made sense to me, apart from that. When he explained how if human beings by nature are generally okay, and generally want to do what is best for themselves and even for others generally, then by and large you could leave them to their own devices and and have full freedom type of thing. That's what he was making that point with the word anarchy. And he explained it much better than what I'm doing, because obviously he was an expert at it, because he ran the bookshop based on it, and calls the bookshop is still there. It's called the Anarchy Bookshop. It's only a small bookshop and it's rarely open. That was the only time I've ever been in it, even though it's been here probably for about 25 years, which is interesting. It always has funny titles on the few books that are in the window. So it's been there a long time, but it's rarely open. And I had only went into it that one time, even though I've lived here that same amount of time, because I always thought, I wouldn't buy those sort of strange books, and it always looked a bit funny. But that particular night I went in, and it was actually night time, I remember. It was open till about 8 or 9 at night. It's only open, I think, about 2 days. But what am I going on about? Where is the cat with the here's the dog. Where's the dog? Where's the cat? Where is the cat? Should I even ask? The cat is on my seat. Look at my nice new red cover. That'll have to go off now. The cat is sitting on it. And of course, as someone pointed out to me in one of the videos, someone that listened, he's so cute. He's sweet. He's not possessed. But then when I showed the next video where he was standing up in the kitchen, where, yes, you can see his chest and where you can see his eyes, she said, not quite so cute when he's standing up, because they all look cute when they're lying down. You know what my son said to me? When I said years ago with the dog, he was sound asleep, and I remember saying to him, gee, he looks so cute and peaceful when he's asleep. And he said to me, he always looks cute and sweet when he's asleep. They all do. And I thought, what a funny thing to say, because I was genuine, saying, he's a sweet dog. That was years ago, of course, before I was aware of possession. But he knew then, because, it's his dog and he relates to it. So it's like they all look cute and sweet when they're asleep, when they're sound asleep, because they can't do nothing when they're asleep. They're in fairyland. That's right, they're dreaming. They're not active. They can't do any mischief, because actually when they are active, yes, Simba, could be very strong and forceful when he was active, to say the least. I won't go into that. I have mentioned a few things, but Putty is being very, 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 very naughty, and this video probably won't even go out because he's refusing to show you his chest, because when I mentioned the little part in the front of the chest in the previous video, and even I got a comment even that said, yes, I see the little part. And that's what I noticed. This is why I wanted to show you here now. And I don't know if it came out when I tried to film him when he was showing when the eyes were glowing a little bit. Now, at least it was for me anyway. I don't know if it'll come out on the thing. Don't forget, I have not got the flash on. This is all legit. If I have the flash on, the animal's eyes will turn into a light. This happens even if you take a photo. I know, because I've got many photos of the animals going back 5-6 years, which I can't get them up, but most of them unfortunately have the glowing eyes. This is due to a flash. According to this reality, I say this reality camouflages a lot. Maybe you're seeing a bit more truth when you see with the flash and you see the glowing eyes on the animal, because that's an indication of possession. But either way, like in the old movies with Zoltan, Hound of Dracula. I remember seeing that with the dogs, with the big dogs. What do you call those dogs? I can't think of the name of those dogs, but they're often in horror movies. The big, they're like big Great Danes, but they're not Great Danes. I don't think. They're some other sort, but they're like that, and they have the big glowing eyes because they're possessed by dark spirits, and they're gonna, they'll turn on you. But it's the same thing when you put the flash on. You end up with these, demon dog eyes and cat eyes, and I can show photos. I don't like those photos. That's why it's important to turn the flash off if you don't want to have that happen. But I have not got the flash on at the moment. That's why you can see me. If I turn it around the other way, I can't speak into it like I am now, which is why but the flash is good to have on if you're filming things, because it can make things a bit clearer. So it's like everything else, it's a trade-off. But I'm not going to put the flash on when I'm filming the animals, because you will have those glowing eyes, and therefore it won't show any possession, because most real people, or at least humans that are of the Matrix, or when I say humans of the Matrix, that means humans that believe we're in a natural, random Earth world, and there's nothing funny going on, and everything's just natural. Everything is natural. There is no possession. There is no technology that is controlling us or directing us in any way. None of this sort of stuff. So I've lost track there. But if I don't have the flash on and you see anything funny, then that is because that is what I'm seeing with my naked eye and what is really there, which is why I haven't got the flash on at the moment. So if you have seen anything, and also I would recommend, that's if you've got the time and the patience and you're really interested, because I know that it does take time and it's boring for some people, But if you're really interested in possession, and I don't even know, because I can't do this, I don't know how to pause the pictures on my TV, or how to, when I say the pictures, like if I played a video of mine on the TV, I don't know how to pause it. I know you should be able to, and I know it's very easy, you just press a button, but I just, well, maybe I can do it if I really think about it. I might give it a try anyway, because maybe if you pause some of the videos of the cat and you look really closely, you might see some things that you don't see with the naked eye because there's too much movement. But if you slow it down and pause it, you might glimpse something. I think there is something in some of those videos. I haven't done that. I don't need to myself anyway, because I know and I see it with my own eyes. But I think, but like I said, it's almost like a challenge if you're interested. If you're not, fair enough. I'm not forcing the possession onto anyone. But if you're really interested and you want real proof, the only way you'll get it, you won't get it by me rambling. You'll want to see it with your own eyes in a picture or on a video, to where you know. And Putty is just being a possessed cat now, isn't he? Because he's not going to show you his chest. He's sat up on my seat. He refuses, because that chest is parted much bigger than what it was on the previous video. Of that I'm sure. That's why I rushed to get the mobile. I wasn't going to make this video because I haven't got time. In fact, I have to fold up because I actually do have a problem coming up. But I wanted to show that the part was much bigger, because I noticed that it was bigger in the past, like in other words, for most of the time. But that's why I made the video, and I was saying that when I was filming, because I didn't even know till I was even looking myself when I put the camera, and when I was looking at him in the kitchen, because if I see him outside, I don't actually take that much notice of his chest, because it's dark out there. As you know, I don't even have the light on like everyone else. But so you can't see it there because he's moving wrong. Putty, could you sit up? Putty. I need him to be in the kitchen where he normally comes and sits up, to where you can see the part. It's much bigger. Now, I hope it might have come out when he come in the door, but there wasn't as much light in this part here. That's why I put the extra light on in the kitchen to show you. This is a possessed animal. Aren't you, Put? Put, are you a possessed animal? You're not my big boy at all, are you, really? You're not. My big boy went many a year ago. He was taken. He was taken, wasn't he? Move your foot and show me. He was taken, wasn't he? Show them. He was taken, wasn't he? Move the foot. Move the foot. He's told you. My original big boy cat was taken. This is not the original big boy cat. He showed you. Because when he's sitting on this seat, he normally doesn't even do any movement with his feet. He shows you. Don't you? Oh, this is difficult, me patting him. I want to show you. I can't hold the mobile and that, and I'll have to dispose of the glove. Oh, dear. Fool me once. Fool me once. Fool me once. Shame on you. Fool me twice. Fool me twice. My back is killing me here doing this. Fool me twice. Are you fooling me twice? Fool me twice. Shame on me. That's the saying. Fool me once. Shame on you. Fool me twice. Shame on me. Fool me thrice, and I'm making this up myself because it's not part of the saying. Putty moved. Fool me thrice. Fool me 3 times. What is that, Putty? End of the game? Are most people fooled 3 times? Putty? Most people are fooled 3 times. Most of us are fooled 1,000,000 times over a lifetime in the Matrix. I know I have been. And most people want to be fooled. I think someone else said that a while back. That is the main reason that people are fooled, is because they want to be, because it's too hard to accept the reality. Just as I want to be fooled by the cat. I want to be fooled 3 times. Because naturally you don't want to accept, what's taken place and what is taking place all the time, what this real reality is. You don't want to accept that things are being changed under your nose. Like, where is my big boy cat? Where is he now? What happened to him? Yeah, and why has he been replaced? I think I made that point in a previous video, or asked the question to the cat, like, why replace something if you want to get rid of something? Why replace it? Well, that's so that we can have this fake matrix reality. Of course, I realise that now. This is a matrix cat. It's not a natural big boy cat. It's not of a natural world. It's of the matrix. It's of the God entity and its minions. That is their version of a cat. And unless you look closely, you wouldn't know the difference. In fact, it's not even about looking closely. It's just that I know that that's not my original big boy cat. That's all. I could point out the anomalies and the differences if he sat really close, even like I was trying to show the part in the chest. I could point them out. But of course, to you, I'd need the photos of before to show the difference, because otherwise, but don't you think that I would know, you'd know your own animal, wouldn't you? You'd know an animal that you've known for 14 years probably, And also some things I could not dismiss, because it's not just that I know very obvious things that have changed. Even though I didn't notice them, yes, of course, at first. That's because you can't even imagine something if you think that your reality isn't what it really is. You'd have to accept that there's something wrong with your reality, and there's no way you're going to do that until the matrix opens up and exposes itself. Or you entertain that idea or that belief that there are a lot of things going on in the reality that you don't know about and that are possible. But while you believe, like I did, that everything was a natural, normal world, even if you saw the most obvious anomaly or the obvious change of something, you still don't fully, you couldn't say, oh, look, the cat has been replaced, because you'd say that's not possible, you see. Because you say it's not possible, and why would that be done? You'd say, no, because then you would have to say that everything around you is negative and is not what you think. You'd have to then acknowledge that you have people around you that are doing strange things, negative strange things. And it would be nonsensical to you too. You'd say, why? You have to understand why. That was the question I was always asking over and over again when the matrix opened up. Why? Why particular people? Why is this happening? And the more you do, the more times you ask why, of course you have to then get the right answer. That's the problem. You have to get the information, and it has to ring true. You have to say, that's the information I'm told, and yes, that is exactly what I see with my own eyes. It has to be both. Some people get information, but they don't see it with their own eyes. So although they might say, oh yes, I think I believe it, they don't 100% believe it because they haven't got the proof. That's like people who have different theories and things. They're like, well, I do think this is so, but I really can't prove it to myself or to anyone else. I don't know what I'm talking about here. I'm folding up.